Hello Americans and other friends and subscribers around the world. So today I thought we'd do a little how to clean up rusty gold, old tools. Come on, get over here. Old tools and knives, old knives, and just really any old rusty stuff that you find out at the barns or in an old camp or wherever you may come across it. I probably should have showed some of these before I cleaned them up, but like this old knife, I actually showed it on one of the videos a while back, and old Glenn, he thought it might be a case. Turns out it's a forge craft, which, man, beautiful wood grain on the handles and stuff like that. I haven't done anything to the handles yet, and this thing was just a layer of surface rust on it. And then it turns out there's really no pitting or anything on the carbon blade, so that one turned out really nice. And then what I may end up doing with this is, a lot of times on some of these old knives, old carbon blades, this one I wouldn't do it, and this one I wouldn't do it. But a lot of times when it's been over sharpened or abused, or somebody was sharpening on it, they didn't know what the heck they were doing, then I will pop the handles off, and I'll use the carbon steel and make knife blades for the for other knives. And then I will and deal in a lot of I have some other places that I sell knives, steak knife sets and butcher knives and all that stuff. So I will and deal in a lot of knives, so I have all kinds of little tricks of cleaning them up and stuff like that. And then a lot of times what I'll do too is I'll pop the handles off and put new handles on them, or rework the old handles. But man, when it's a nice knife like that, I really am not going to do, it's perfection. Why would I mess with it? But mainly the thing I want to do on this video is talk about, getting the rust and stuff cleaned up and how I do it. And what I usually do, man, depending on how bad it is I start off, I have a bench grinder with a light, with brass. You don't want to use the, steel wheel, because it'll just scratch the heck out of your, especially on the carbon and stuff like that, or any steel. You'll just end up with all them, the lines that steel will do. So you use brass because it's a softer metal, and then I use, a lighter brass, and I have a bench grinder with a lighter brass wheel on it that I'll start off, when the stuff is, I just cleaned all these up, but like this one I haven't even touched, and look at all the buildup on it. And I can see that there's actually some pitting and stuff in here. And this is actually a shingle splitter. I'm going to put a new handle, rehandle it, and use it myself. But I can see some pitting in there. And on some of the solid stuff, to me, especially when it's an old item, the pitting just adds character. I just kind of like it. And you could go through and you could just oil this, and obviously it's going to look better, but then the rust is still, you haven't cleaned it up, because rust is basically like a cancer, so you try to get it, especially once it starts penetrating. If you just, oil could stop it, a prevention thing, or preserve it for a while. But one of the other things, I use my Marvel oil, I'll show you here in a sec, and then start picking up, like these, man, you can get these at, a dollar store or whatever. There's usually this one, and then there's one that's got a nylon, and I think then there's a metal one too. You get 3 for $1 or something like that. So I use these, and then we pick up, this one's actually I think it's an eyebrow. Yeah, it's actually artistry, so it's a Amway some kind of makeup or shaving brush or something. Oh, it actually might be a cleaner for a shaver, I don't know. Anyway, I pick up all these little brushes at yard sales and swap meets at thrift stores and stuff like that. Of course, old toothbrush. This is a heavier little brush too that we use. Of course, we use them on, I use them on the steel stuff, but we use them on cleaning up other items. But these little brushes like this, when you get up, you can get up next to that handle and you're not gonna mess it up, which this handle I'm actually gonna tear off. And something cool about this one, I had to go off on it. You can see that this was actually made out of a 1/4 inch steel. It's a handmade, hand-forged lathing tool. So I'm actually going to pull this handle off and rehandle it, and decide what I'm going to do with that. This This one ended up being, you can see the pit, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but you can see the pitting in there. And one of the first things I'll do is run my, the wheel, you know, run it across the brass wheel to look and see if there's any names or if it's a custom made one. And I'll know more once I get down, get this handle off here and stuff, but I'm thinking that this is probably a custom hand forged. These actually both came from the same place, so you know, the guy was obviously a blacksmith probably and probably made this too. But this, you can see the pitting in here, and this one I'm going to tear the handle off and rehandle it too. This one I just showed a couple of days ago, but it turns out it's a war wood, and somebody's abused it here. Not really no pitting on this, a little bit long here, just basically surface rust. So then what I do after I get it cleaned up, you know, let's take the old trusty marble oil, just put a little marble oil on it, an old t-shirt or something, man. But man, just look at the brightness of the difference in that. I guess I should have showed that name. We can show, you can see the dullness, man. I just love marble oil. I love the smell of it, everything about it. But you can shine that. Man, I got dry throat. So I'll do that, you know, rub this all down with marble oil. Man, it shines it up, makes it look pretty, and preserves it. I actually use marble oil on all my shovel handles, axe handles, you know, rakes, everything. As I rub them down a couple times a year with marble oil just to preserve, you know, so the handles don't get all dried out. Because of course, you'd be doing something sitting down there, sitting out there in the sun. And right now, man, let me tell you, we've got the sun. It's gonna be 100 degrees every day this week. Rub this down a little bit, get it down in here, kind of show, you know, and you do this for, you know, whether you're fixing them up, keeping them for yourself because it preserves it, makes them nice for you, or to, you know, to fix them up to resell them. It's like this little head, I'm probably gonna, research the name on it and see what kind of history I can find out about it. You know, and if it's worth something, I'll sell it, and if not, I'm gonna put a handle in her and use it. You take your rag and just kind of squirt some along in here. I decided to do this because I've actually had a few people ask me, you know, how and what I do to all the old tools. And that's funny, man, because I pick up so many rusty tools, and you know, I'll stack them up and I'll sit out there at that. You know, of course, wear safety glasses, all that. Them little brass wires, man, stick in your shirt too, man. Little gnarly mothers. But I'll sit out there and do a whole stack of them, and found it kind of funny because I thought, well, man, I'll go grab a couple of rusty tools around here that I haven't cleaned up, and I couldn't even find any other than the shingle splitter. I couldn't find any that I hadn't already ran across there. Now look at the difference. You know, you go back on that video and look at the difference in the, you know, before and after the Miracle Oil. Marble Miracle Oil. So man, that's how you do that. This old knife here, man, it was a little bit rusty. The funny thing about this, Kitty just brought this out to me when I was cleaning up these other ones, and she's all, "Did you know this was in there?" It's just a colonial, plastic handles, nothing, you know, spectacular. But this was actually in a bedpan. We picked up a bedpan and another little one that was inside it, and I had no idea, and this was actually bouncing around inside that bedpan. So that was kind of a little score. It had a little bit of surface rust on the blades. Fairly decent little knife, other than I wish they had bone handles or something. American made, so check that out. And then here I'll show you on this. See, like this, you can still see, because I ran it across the wheel, man. Now when you're doing the wheel, any of the wood handles, you don't want to get that wood up, because that brass is hard, or, you know, coarse enough that it will tear up your, leave marks on your brass handles. I mean on your brass handles, on your wood. So then you just take your other one, man, just kind of wipe it away a little bit. Get another one. Toothbrush, man, you can never beat a toothbrush. I got that a little bit clean, run a little bit of marble oil on it. And then on the wood, we use beeswax, so. And sometimes we'll actually put beeswax on the blades too. That just makes it shine. Just makes it shine. And then same on that old East Wing missionary rock hammer. Roll that on there. See, and this old leather stacked handle. We use the beeswax too. This one, these old East Wing, they have that clear coat stuff. So I mean, you could scrub on that, but you're probably gonna rough up the leather. So man, I just oil it, give the leather some life back. Oil it up real good, man. That leather's gonna take it in, you know. A lot of times I'll use my boot grease on the East Wing. I love East Wing tools. When it's as dry as it is right here, and I just got this sitting here, so it ain't gonna hurt nothing. Like I said, it's gonna soak it up pretty big time. Just gonna wipe it down. I mean, that's I picked that up for a. I picked that up that boys. I don't know if I got that, but I know I got another one, man. I paid $1, you know, and it was surface rust. I think it's actually the other one out there, the rock hammer, but you know, pick them up for $1 because they're rusty and stuff. Come home and clean it. You know, man, go buy one of these mothers new. You're looking at about $35. So, man, that's just a little bit of how or how we, you know, bring back, man, the old, man, and preserve it. And, you know, basically another way of recycling and saving, you know. And that's, man, this stuff's such quality made. I mean, every tool here, man, whether it be the hand forged stuff. This was hand forged too. His weld didn't do so good here, but you know, I mean, yeah, you can still buy quality made stuff like this, but man, you pay a dang good price. So, and if you can go out and pick them up for $1 or $2 at a 50 cents or a whole, you know, I've bought boxes of old wrenches and stuff, man. Sit out there at that wheel and get all the surface rust and everything off of them, and then oil them up, man. You've got a whole set of wrenches for $1 or $2 that would cost you $150. So, good Lord willing, the creeks don't rise. We'll be back again real soon. Hopefully this gives you a little, go out there and find yourself some rusty gold and clean her on up. We'll see ya.